皆さん、こんにちは。香川博です。出版物を書いたりするときは、山伏洋二という名前を使ってますので、ぜひ読んでください。ですね、この前、ドイツの、私の、友人の三浦さんと、日本がドイツに勝ったことでね、いろんなことがありましたけど、そのドイツが非常に政治的な、スタンスを、FIFA に対して取っている。つまり、ワールドカップって結構複雑な背景があるんだってことをお話ししましたよね。で、今回、その続きなんですけど、実はね、またすごいですね。日本がね、スペインに勝っちゃいました。で、素晴らしいことですよね。日本のチームに本当に祝福を送りたいんですが、いよいよこれから決勝戦になります。ただね、こういう時に知っといてほしいことがある。それは何かと言ったら、スペインの人が全員スペインが負けたことを悔しがってない。と思うじゃないですか。もちろんね、日本の中でもサッカーに興味のある人と興味のない人がいますよね。だけど、そうじゃなくて、もっと深いものがね、世界にはあるんだと。そのいろんな事情なんですよね。で、我々ってともすればそのことを忘れがちなので、この機会にね、せっかくですから、そういう側面をもうちょっと掘り下げてみたいと思います。今日はね、ガリ・オルテゴーサさんというね、スペインの人なんですね、パスポートは。だけど、出身はね、バスクという、北のフランスの国境近くにある、地域、そこの出身の、バスクの人です。そして国籍はスペイン人。そういう人です。スペインは最近カタルーニャで独立運動が起きたりもしましたよね。そういう背景、さらにはそこから広げてね、イランとアメリカとのワールドカップでの戦い、こういうものの背景なんかにも触れてみたいなと思ってます。じゃあ、早速聞いてみましょう。Hello, Gary.
Hello, morning. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, fine. Thank you. How about you?
A long time to talk to you.
Yes, it's been some time.
Yeah. Well, I would like to say, interestingly, Japan team won a World Cup against Spain. And
Yes.
generally speaking, people think that you are from Spain as a kind of theory of the nationality.
Yes, people do think that. So they're surprised when I say I'm happy Japan won.
Really?
Oh, yes, yes.
Wow. Would you please tell me the reason?
So, as you know, I'm from the Basque country.
Basque,
we-
maybe a lot of Japan need to know where Basque is and what
So-
happened.
So the Basque country is right now a region which is in the north east of Spain, close to the French border. There's a little bit of a Basque country in the French side too. And because we have a different history and particularly different language, many people want to be independent. So many people don't feel Spanish. And there's been a history of conflict. There's been terrorism for years. There's been people trying to be independent. Spain, oppressing Basques. So it's a complicated history. But long story short, many people don't feel Spanish.
Oh, so they were not a fanatic for Spanish team.
Well, of course, it depends on the person. It's a complicated place. But many people, such as myself, do not want Spain to win.
Interesting. It happened maybe in the Barcelona area, in the Catalonia too?
Yes, Catalonia is another region also in Spain that wants to be independent. And I'm pretty sure that society is very divided. Some people feel Spanish and want Spain to win, and some people don't feel Spanish at all and don't want Spain to win.
I have a question. Of course, I remember. Basque is really famous for the Francisco Xavier.
Yes. Yeah, Francisco Xavier was Basque. Also, Basque cheesecake is perhaps what now most people in Japan know the word Basque for.
Yep. And anyway, Basque is belonging to Spain as a nation, as a theory. Go ahead.
No, really. So legally, it's just a region right now. But historically, it used to have different. It was a little bit like, it's not exactly the same, but like Hong Kong and China, like two systems. Like they used to have their own tax system, etc., etc.
I understand. Now, let me say, how about the generation gap? Do you have it? For example, like a Basque who is quite a identity they have, as a Basque towards or against Spain, and similar kind of feeling with the young generation have it, or it's changing, or you have some kind of jeopardized feeling about it?
That's an interesting question. I think there are definitely changes. Well, one easy change to explain is my grandparents' generation grew up during the Francisco Franco dictatorship's time. So they were not allowed to even speak Basque, for example, at schools. So there's a big generation where they lost Basque, and that, that of course made their feeling a little bit weaker, but also they wanted to go against Franco. Now, the younger generation, I think the generation younger than me, I feel like they're a little bit calmer about like independence. It does, because we had years and years of armed fights on terrorism, and it was a very complicated thing, and it finally stopped like I think 10 years ago. So now the whole Basque society is at a place where they just want to be calm for a little bit.
Interesting, because when I saw the Catalonia issue, I was so surprised. Even now, even the younger people, protesting.
Yeah, particularly.
Now, similar things happened all over the world. That is not, how can I say, for Japanese, they are not familiar with that. That is why when people cheer about the World Cup, they are saying just flag, Now, just interesting thing happens just recently. Iranian team and American team fought each other in World Cup. And of course, American side, complained kind of politically about the Iranians kind of anti-democracy situations. And actually, a lot of uprising happened inside Iran. Then when Iranian team lost the game against America, many, how can I say, Iranian people, I heard, are cheerful about it. And then after having that kind of influence, and then actually even the team member we found out of that soccer team, they have a complicated situations in their mind. Course, now, same like a Basque and Catalonia, maybe everywhere in the world, there are small or big or some issues, of course. And some people want to put in a kind of that kind of things is put in a kind of a World Cup, a big kind of a sports ceremony, right? Yeah. Because that way everybody know that.
Yes, it's a moment where everyone's watching. Yeah.
Now, would you please tell me your opinion about it? Because FIFA and many people say, hey, this is a sports ceremony. Why don't you put politics on such kind of ceremony?
Yes, it's a good point. And so personally, I think ideally you should not put, of course, politics into sport, but you're representing a country and there's issues. You cannot escape politics. It's just impossible. When Iran was playing, everyone was thinking about what's going on in Iran. What will the players? So like they had no choice of not being political. It had to be political, only one way or the other. So sometimes I think you can't escape it, and I think that's life.
That's life, I understand. So that is a kind of a point which people consider quite deeply about what is going on in the world.
Yes, I think I agree that it shouldn't become, politics shouldn't become the center of the sport, but it's unavoidable. I mean, it's the same with Qatar's hosting the World Cup and all the issues with the immigrant workers and all those things. It's just, you can't have this talk without the other. It'd be lying.
That's interesting because, just recently I made an interview to a German friend. He said the same things. Humanity and also human's right is above the kind of sports, and so German, ironically, Japan won both countries. Interesting. Actually, I could not see any Japanese fan think about that kind of complexity. That is why I wanted to point out.
I think I don't think it will happen, but if South Korea beats beats Brazil, and Japan beats Croatia, South Korea and Japan might fight each other. Maybe then the Japanese people will understand.
Yeah. Well, but I'm a little bit pessimistic, Gary. The reason is both side gap is so big, right? Young Japanese generation does not know historical complexity, and also, but on the other hand, Korea was colonized for a long time. They do not forget, right?
Yeah.
So from Japanese point of view, why you are talking about even 70 years ago issue still right now? Of course, Korean side, they have a lot of anger and emotion.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, yeah, it's true. I mean, that's a different type of politics. It's also, by the way, Spain is playing against Morocco, which also was a former colony of Spain. So that's interesting too. But it's true that it's not a moment it won't show inner conflict of a country. I think one interesting thing, for example, so take the Spanish soccer team, and how there's Basque players there, right? Now, the fact that Basque players are playing there already is seen as something political. They've made a choice, so to speak.
I see.
The outside world might not see it. You might think, oh, they're not showing any politics. But if you're Basque, you know that this person is Basque and that he's made a decision, and therefore there is already politics in it.
But it is a good idea for Japanese to know when they will be, hopefully, nice fight between Korea and Japan, and hopefully it's going to be quite a peaceful moment. But, of course, it is a good idea to know for everybody. So from your point of view, do you have any comment to Japanese about such kind of world politics? I mean, sense, these days, they are not so interested. That's I'm afraid. Do you have any comment?
I think definitely it is important to be interested. Of course, I think like people who say they're not interested in politics, I think they don't realize just how important it is. Politics is not just people in the government. Any moral decision that affects everyone is politics.
Everyday life.
Yeah, exactly. Choosing to put on the mask or not putting the mask, or choosing to throw away the trash to the right trash can, that is part of politics. I would say, like, there's politics in every small thing, and I think it's very interesting and enriching to look at other countries' political let's say situation, because as you mentioned, you might just be looking at a flag and you think, okay, this is, I don't know, Russia. Okay, it's famous for I don't know, Tchaikovsky, but actually there's so much behind it, so much that it's just not as easy at all, and I think it's important to know.
Yeah, means I remember that I forgot the name of the tune of Tchaikovsky, like a fanatic kind of a Russian spirit, and maybe of course Ukrainian hate that music, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
right. So Polish may hate it.
Yeah,
even
probably.
It is a nice music, but
yes. Yeah,
right.
that's an interesting thing. I have a Polish friend whom I love a lot, and she hates everything Russian. Anything, if it's Russian, she hates it. And to me, of course, that's. I mean, I understand not liking the government of Russia, but Russian art doesn't have to be together, right? But it's just for her, and I suppose for many people, if you're in Ukraine and you're being invaded, it doesn't matter that it has nothing to do.
Well, that is an issue of a kind of quite a sad issue. Sometimes individual must be different from the nation, of course. Sometimes unfortunate nation create terrible politics, but individual, they are different.
Exactly,
but,
yes.
Yeah, but when war happens or kind of a past kind of a sad issue happened, then of course people still remember. And it's related with the sports or art or people.
Yeah, that's really, really good point. And actually, I think it applies to the whole South Korea and Japan relationship. That's very different history than what is going on now, plus government, plus what individuals are. That's several different sides, and it's, we tend to mix them, but it's just so different. It's the same with China and the protests with the white paper that have been going on against the COVID restrictions. People who dislike the regime of the government of Xi Jinping, they might think, oh, Chinese people this, Chinese people that, but now you start to see that, hey, even in China, there's a lot of people who don't like it. So maybe you should separate these things. There's so many layers.
I see. Now, last question. I mean, you know Japan very well as you are Basque people. And also, can I say English in a Basquian or Basque?
Basque. Yeah, Basque is the adjective. Basque people.
Okay, so you are Basque. And also, as you said, that legally it is belonging to Spain. And you're teaching Basque language too.
Yes, that's correct.
It's the last question that how you are living in Japan as a Basque, and as well as kind of a passport in Spain, maybe.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Then, do you have any message to Japanese?
Well, for me personally, I would only be. I'd be happy if Japanese people knew. And sometimes I have to say, I'm surprised. Sometimes they know a lot, but if they know what I mean when I say I'm Basque and I don't have to explain it, that's the thing that will make me happiest. If I can just, when they ask me, where are you from? And I say Basque country, if they understand, that's enough for me.
Okay. Well, I know that the Basque has a fruitful history and heritages and culture, and of course, nice food, which I want to enjoy with you. So,
sometime soon, I hope, yes. But yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, please.
No, I was just going to say that actually yesterday was the International Day of Basque Language. Okay. Because it was San Francisco Xavier's Day yesterday.
Yeah, I know that even language is really different from Spanish, right?
Yes, it's completely different. It's not a dialect. So yeah, actually we have a meeting of Basque people today. I'm going to.
Maybe next World Cup, many people think that a Basque team or a Catalonia team must be granted.
Hopefully they think that. I mean, at least I think we would like to have the choice to choose, like the possibility to choose if we want it or not.
Well, oh, sorry, time has come. So just I don't want to cut this conversation right now because it's so interesting. But thank you so much.
No, thank you very much for having me. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
All right, bye-bye.